This game should be an example of how remakes should be done. And this game should set an example to everyone that good remakes should be remembered as, well, amazing games. In their own way, of course. In this video, we're going to be talking about none other than the Mafia Definitive Edition, the remake of original Mafia game that came out in 2002, and we'll be deciding whether it is worth it to buy right now or not. So without further ado, let's just get it started. And as always, I'm not going to be wasting your time and giving you an answer right away whether this game is worth it or not. And the answer is absolutely freaking yes. This game is fantastic. Mafia in itself, the original one, was an amazing game with an insanely good story and writing, but this game just elevates it and pushes it towards the modern standards. At least gameplay wise, the storytelling here is superb, acting is insanely good, graphics is amazing, and everything in the game is practically as perfect as it can be. And yes, you should buy this game. But why? Let me talk about the details. Oh, and by the way, our Steam Curator page is already up and running, so if you want to see all of my reviews, videos, and a little bit of text review right there on Steam before you're gonna buy anything, just go and follow us there on Steam, so that you will not miss my reviews when you are buying the games. Now back to the video. So for the ones who doesn't know what even Mafia is, well, Mafia Definitive Edition is a remake of the 2002 Mafia game, which after that had two sequels, Mafia 2 and Mafia 3, which we also will be reviewing. Story-wise, game is happening in 1930s America, and it is happening in the city of Lost Haven, which is kind of probably an analog of Chicago. You start playing during the Prohibition period, and the game continues throughout the years during 1930s and eventually a bit later as well. You're playing as Tommy Angelo. You are an Italian American who accidentally got into a situation between different families of Italian mob, and eventually you decide to join them. And this game is the story of rise and fall of Tommy Angelo, or rather his rise and fall in, well, Italian mob. And let me tell you this one thing, if you haven't played the original game, this is an insanely good story. The game starts in 1938, and story-wise, Tommy is telling his story how he got to that place, starting from 1930 and what was happening throughout the years while he was working with a certain Italian family. And this story is amazing. It's gritty, it's serious, and it shows you reality and dangers of living the life like that. And if you have any love of the criminal or mobster movies, yes, this game is just must show. And for the ones who think that this will be kind of like a GTA but in 1930s, it's not. This game by far is not glorifying criminal lifestyle. It shows it how it is with its all ups and downs. And it is insane how good this game is at showing that. All the twists, all the turns, all the ups and all the downs in this game is insane. And with the newer graphics, the storytelling is superb. New faces, new voice acting, new lighting, new graphics makes this game practically a movie. And I can beg someone to make this as a movie or even a TV show, because this game has so many this story is so good. Yes, for some the ending can be a little bit abrupt, and yes, there is no happy ending in this game. Yep, kind of like a spoiler, but yeah, you would understand that by playing as a mob you would not have a happy ending, because you are not playing, well, was really a good guy. But yeah, for some ending can be a little abrupt, but my god, it's a gut-punching story through and through. But how about the gameplay? What do you actually do in the game? Technically, at first you might think that this is an open world game, kind of like a GTA, but in reality, it's not, because you don't have a lot to do in an open world itself. The city is open and you can drive wherever you want, but you are not free to drive in the story mode. You're literally moving from mission to mission, and you don't have a choice of missions as well like you have in GTA or Saints Row games. You literally are going through the linear missions. And city is basically there to, well, take you from one place to another. And 1930s aesthetics is shown here with insanely great details, and of course much better than the first game. The buildings are distinct, the car graphics is insanely good, the cars drive insanely amazing if you're gonna play in a simulation mode, and we're gonna talk about different game modes in a bit. But the police reaction is superb, the traffic is unbelievably realistic, and driving is difficult yet very amazing. Where game is a bit clunky is in its shooting mechanics, because yeah, it's very difficult to actually land a shot, but that's actually pretty realistic as well, because back then guns, like for example a Tommy gun, was not very accurate, and this game shows you exactly that. it's very difficult to land the headshots. Even though you can do that, it's very difficult to be a very insanely precise aiming machine gun individual. Yes, you can be a deadly machine with a gun, but no, in reality, it just shows you that you are a regular mobster. And despite game being much easier to play compared to original, this game is still pretty difficult, especially with different driving and even the combat missions, because you can be killed very easily. And if you're not well behind the covers and you're not using cover system well, you are going to be killed in 1 or 2 shots. And enemies are more or less smart, not insanely smart, but more or less smart. They're trying to flank you, they're trying to lure you out with the Molotov cocktails and with the grenades and things like that. So yeah, it's actually pretty fun to, well, to play a combat as well. Driving is cool because enemies are trying to shoot you, they're trying to hit you, get you out of the road, and yeah, the overall gameplay mechanics is pretty cool. But remember when I talked about the different difficulty? Yes, game has actually a bunch of customization in difficulty. For example, you have a customization of driving. You can have a standard driving model, which will make it more or less similar to GTA, or you can make it as a simulation. And if you're using a simulation, well, it makes driving much more difficult because the different aspects of the car takes a huge place. Like, for example, the power of the engine of the car, the weight of the car, and even where you will get a certain damage. Because you can pop your tires if you hit the curb way too hard. And you can die basically in one hit if you hug a light pole. Yes, you can. This can happen as well. The cars are much more difficult to drive, but not just for you, but for everyone as well. And if you want to really feel the game, you should drive in simulation mode. And you can even choose the police reaction, and the police reaction can be low, can be medium, or simulation. And in a simulation, and I highly suggest you play in simulation as well, because when you're playing in simulation, the police has very interesting reaction, because they will actually try to catch you, even if you go over speed limit, which you will constantly have, or if you run the red light, or if you get into dangerous situation. But what's interesting is how police will react depending on what you will do. If you start shooting or kill someone in front of the police, they will try to shoot you back. But for example, if you run the red light or go over speed limit, they will try to chase you, and all that they will do is they will give you a ticket if you will comply, of course. If you will not comply and try to run away, well, they will try to arrest you. And then 5-star system will kick in, and more stars you will have, more of them will chase you. They will establish roadblocks, they will attack you with stronger guns and things like that. And yeah, it's actually quite fun to be in a police chase in this game, but also quite difficult as well. But for the ones who want to just drive and enjoy the city, there's also a free ride mode where you can choose whatever car that you want and just drive around the city and just play in a free mode. That's all that you do. There's not much else to do in a city except for just driving, if you enjoy driving in a cars like that. But all is good, all is great if the price is right. So how much the game will actually cost you? So game is available on Steam for the base price of $39.99 for tier 1 countries and $19.99 for tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $13.99 for tier 1 countries and $6.99 for tier 2 countries. So as you can see, this game is being sold kind of like a new game, but not entirely. And to be fair, if you think that this game is just an old, but just newly wrapped old game, well, it's not. Game has been almost reworked ground up, and everything except the story and the writing itself have been changed, including the voice acting. So yeah, it's practically a new game. And even then, for the full price, game does not cost that much. So is this game worth it? Absolutely. So would I pay a full price for this? Well, maybe not. Not because this game does not deserve it, but because I have already played the original Mafia game and I know the story, and I would not pay the price for the same story. But plus, there is one big and important thing. Game is not very long. It takes around 10 hours to complete the game. Even if you'll not skip all the unnecessary driving scenes and just drive everywhere like you should do, and you can actually skip the unnecessary driving, it will still take you around 10 hours to complete the game. Yes, if you will do everything and try to go for all the achievements, you can have around 20-25 hours of gameplay, but overall this is not a very long game. Because the free ride is not giving you a lot of things to do, yes, you cannot extend this indefinitely like you could do in GTA games. So would I buy this game for the full price? Well, if I have never played games like that, and if I want a really good movie story, kind of like that, then yeah, maybe I would. But I would buy this game more during the sale. And yes, for $13.99 or for $6.99, this game is not just a great buy, it's a must buy. This game is insanely good, so if you see this game on a sale anytime or on any sale, go and get this game. This game deserves it. This game is insanely good remake. Would I buy this on release for the full price? Yes, I would. But right now, because you can get the game for the cheaper price, you should wait for the cheaper price just to save a little bit of money. Because yeah, no matter how great the game is, it's still rather short. Plus, the game does not have any type of multiplayer or things like that. All you have is a story mode and you have a free ride. That's all that you have. So overall, I would say like that. If you can afford the game for the full price and you really want to play it right now, you will not regret buying this game if you can afford it. But if you cannot afford it, if you feel like $40 is a bit too high of a price for you, just wait for a sale. Game is very often on a sale. And usually the sales are 65% or it can be even more than that. So just wait for the sale and get the game on a sale. You will not regret it. This game is absolute masterpiece and everyone should play it. But what about the sequels? Well, this is a topic for other videos. Well, this should be it for today. Thanks for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.